We're about to watch a homestead close its growing season and figure out how much food a small yard actually grew this year. The number might surprise you. Here's what most people get wrong about low-input gardening. They count what came out of the bed in July and declare victory. The real test isn't the peak harvest. It's what you manage to store without buying anything new. The beds are done. The thermometer is sitting below freezing overnight, and daytime highs are barely crossing the line. Anything still in the ground is on borrowed time. I pulled the last of the root crops today. Potatoes first, about 220 pounds weighed wet in the wheelbarrow. One hill produced a fist-sized spud the size of a softball. That's a result, not an accident. It came from two specific choices that have nothing to do with luck. Choice 1, I spaced the rows further apart than the seed packet suggested. Choice 2, I stopped fighting the frost and started timing around it. Most low-input gardeners undervalue spacing. They crowd plants and hope. Crowded potatoes compete underground. Give them air, and the difference shows up in your harvest basket, not in a fertilizer bill. The carrots ran long this year, the longest pulled at 12¼ inches. Let's talk about what changed in the soil, and it wasn't adding anything to it. The honest answer is, I stopped disturbing it. Every till pass breaks up the fungal networks that hold moisture and structure together. 2 seasons of no dig, and the soil started doing the work fertilizer used to fake. Worms did more for these carrots than any bag ever did. If you want one low-input rule that pays for the whole system, it's this. Feed the soil life, not the plant. The plant is just a side effect of soil that's actually alive. Storage is the second half of the harvest, and most people skip it. I use plastic totes, lids cracked, straw tucked around the roots. No special equipment, no electricity, just the temperature the ground gives for free. Damp sawdust on the carrots, stays dry but doesn't desiccate. Beets get their own tote. Turnips share with the rutabagas. Voles are the only risk, so I set traps and stop thinking about it. Quick gut check on shelf life. Potatoes stored this way have held for me past 4 months without a single soft spot, as long as the room stays under 45 degrees and dark. Carrots go even longer packed in sawdust. I've pulled sweet crisp carrots out of a tote in March. Next problem, heat. Birch beats spruce on every metric that matters if you're trying to keep inputs low. I tested it. 2 chains, 2 saws, 1 full day of splitting, and the chains still cut clean. Birch splits clean. It seasons faster. It burns longer. And I got it cheap because I caught a hauler heading into Canada. 14 full cords, 1 phone call. A woodshed full to the gable means you don't need to negotiate with anyone about fuel from now until spring. 5 cords is what a cold climate burns in a normal year. I have more than that on hand, which means the birch in the back row can keep seasoning past the first frost and still be ready. Parking 8 to 12 pieces of equipment under one roof has a low-input side effect nobody talks about. The property gets calmer. One more thing about heat you can bank before winter. Dead standing timber. Any tree that's already dying costs you nothing but the sawgas. Bees are the last decision I make before the snow flies. They're not staying here. That trade is the entire logic of low input. Stop owning what you can borrow. If I'm honest, none of this works without one habit underneath it. Writing things down. Every spacing change, every storage failure, every frost date. It's in a notebook. Low input doesn't mean low attention. It means you spend your effort on knowing your land instead of fighting it. If you remember 4 things from this video, make them these. Space your root crops wider than you'd think. Feed the soil instead of the plant. Store your harvest in the simplest cool room you can build, and stop trying to do every job on your own land. The cheapest fertilizer is one you never bought. The cheapest winter is the one where the wood was already in the shed. If you run a low-input homestead, or you're trying to, subscribe. I post a new build every week. See you in the next one.